What happens if everything is going according to plan and then suddenly it isn't? You have the job, the visa, the stability, and then one email changes everything, a layoff. In part 1, we built the full foundation, from F1 to OPT to the early strategies that can accelerate your path toward permanent residency. Now in part 2, we face the moment most STEM professionals fear. What happens when that stability disappears? Today, we break down what to do immediately after a layoff, how grace periods actually work, how H-1B portability can save you time, and how visa stacking creates real protection. We'll also walk through 2 real success stories, answer the most common questions, and give you a complete action plan. And by the end, you'll understand how to stay in control, even when everything feels uncertain. We'll also include a quick quiz at the end to make sure you fully understood the key points. We've put the questions and timestamps on screen so you can jump to what matters most. This breakdown is brought to you by the law offices of Chris M. Ingram.
Just a quick reminder, if you appreciate this kind of in-depth content, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It helps us bring you more content. Now, on with the video.
Tech layoffs surged again in early 2026. Over 52,000 jobs were cut in just the first quarter, a 40% increase compared to the year before. Many companies pointed to AI as the reason. But here's the twist. A growing number of those same companies are already reversing course. Some reports show over 50% of employers regret AI-driven layoffs, and many are quietly rehiring, because human judgment, creativity, and experience still matter. But if you're on an H-1B, a layoff doesn't just affect your job, it affects your legal status. And that pressure is real. Limited time, immigration deadlines, family uncertainty, add global disruptions like embassy delays and travel risks. And suddenly, everything feels fragile. This is where most people panic, but this is also where the system gives you tools. 1. Grace period. If you lose your job on H-1B, you may have up to 60 days to remain in lawful status. In some large-scale layoffs, guidance may extend closer to 90 days. This time is not passive, it's your window to act. 2. What you should do immediately. Notify USCIS of your change in status. Activate COBRA for health coverage. Explore eligible unemployment benefits. Start networking immediately, because speed matters. 3. H-1B portability. This is one of your biggest advantages. A new employer files a petition, and in many cases, you can start working as soon as it is received. No need to wait for full approval. 4. Parallel filings. Backup strategy. You don't have to rely on one path. You can file EB-1, file EB-2NIW, if appropriate for your nationality and timeline. At the same time, this keeps options open. 5. Visa stacking, the real game changer. This is where strategy becomes protection. Instead of relying on one visa, you combine multiple. H-1B, work stability. O-1, extraordinary ability pathway. EB-1 or NIW, green card track. H-4, EAD, spousal support if applicable. Now, one employer's decision doesn't control your entire future. Let's make it real. Marcus was a software engineer working in renewable energy. Strong role, stable company, until layoffs hit. His department was cut, and suddenly, the 60-day clock started. Instead of waiting, he moved immediately. He activated his network, reached out through LinkedIn and IEEE, secured a new role in just 25 days. He filed for H-1B portability right away. At the same time, he advanced his EB-2NIW and prepared an O-1 as backup. Today, he leads a team. His takeaway: those 60 days felt like pressure, but they forced him to build multiple layers of security. Let's see another case. Elena, a biotech researcher, saw layoffs coming, but instead of reacting, she prepared. She had patents, strong citations, media recognition, institutional support. So she made a different decision. She didn't look for another sponsor. She self-petitioned for EB-1. No employer dependency, no lottery, no uncertainty tied to a company. Her case was approved in 9 months, within the typical 3 to 9 month range, depending on evidence strength and processing strategy. Today, she runs her own startup, employs U.S. workers, focuses on growth, not sponsorship. Her takeaway: I stopped waiting for permission and built something I controlled. We receive hundreds of questions from our STEM audience. Here's attorney Chris M. Ingram with straightforward answers.
Question 1. I just got laid off. What's my first move?
Stay calm, but act fast. You have up to a 60-day grace period to remain in lawful status. Notify USCIS of the change promptly. Activate COBRA to maintain insurance coverage. Explore eligible unemployment benefits and begin networking aggressively. File Portability with a new employer as soon as possible. You can often start working upon receipt of the notice.
Question 2. Is visa stacking really worth it?
Yes, it is one of the smartest strategies in volatile times. A common stack pairs your H-1B with an O-1 for extraordinary ability, or runs an EB-2NIW in parallel. This builds redundancy, so a single employer decision does not derail your presence or career momentum.
Question 3. Should I travel internationally right now?
The conflict has led to embassy suspensions and appointment cancellations across the Middle East. Anyone needing a consular stamp faces significant delays and re-entry risks. Avoid non-essential international travel right now. If your I-94 or stamp is nearing expiration, consult counsel immediately to explore in U.S. options.
Question 4. Why pursue EB-1 if I already have a job?
Self-sponsored EB-1 delivers independence. Layoffs, company pivots toward AI, or sudden restructurings cannot touch your status. For STEM professionals with patents, leadership, or strong impact, it is often the quickest route to permanent residency and real freedom. With current H-1B filing fees approaching $100,000, most employers are extremely selective about sponsorship, making self-sponsored routes even more valuable.
Now let's put this into practice. Question 1. True or false? The typical H-1B grace period after a layoff is 60 days. Answer: true. This is the standard window to take action and remain in lawful status. Question 2. True or false? H-1B portability requires you to wait for full approval before starting a new job. Answer: false. You can often begin working as soon as USCIS receives the new petition. Question 3. True or false? Visa stacking helps reduce risk by giving you multiple immigration options at the same time. Answer: true. It prevents your status from depending on a single visa or employer. How did you do? Drop your score in the comments and tell us which question made you think the most.
So here's how you take control starting today. 1. Build your evidence portfolio. 2. Explore EB-1 and NIW options early. 3. Develop a visa stacking strategy. 4. Network consistently, LinkedIn, IEEE alumni. 5. Monitor immigration and global updates. And 6. Prepare your layoff response plan in advance. Across these 2 videos, a clear pattern emerges. The system doesn't reward reaction, it rewards preparation. If you wait until something goes wrong, your options shrink. Time becomes pressure, decisions become limited. But if you prepare early, you create flexibility, you create speed, and most importantly, you create control. Because this journey isn't just about staying in the system, it's about positioning yourself ahead of it, building options before you need them, creating independence before it becomes urgent. So when uncertainty hits, you're not reacting, you're ready. If these 2 videos gave you clarity and confidence, like, subscribe, and leave your biggest question below. We may cover it in a future episode. And if you're serious about understanding your options, visit breakthroughusa.com for resources and guidance.